Breaking news in the fight against COVID-19. The FDA approves the first coronavirus vaccine in the U.S., a major step toward bringing the pandemic to an end.
It comes as we're an hour into the new statewide curfew. The majority of businesses must now close by 10 p.m.
And a lawsuit to overturn election results in battleground states is rejected. The nation's high court tosses out the case backed by President Trump.
We begin tonight with the final go-ahead to the nation's first coronavirus vaccine, launching emergency vaccinations in a bid to end the pandemic. Shots will begin in a few days after tonight's decision by the FDA. It called the vaccine from Pfizer safe and strongly protective. Doses can't come soon enough. This week, daily coronavirus deaths have topped 3,000 in the U.S. for the first time since the pandemic began. Officials say the pandemic is far from over, though. Nearly 3 million doses of the vaccine will first be shipped to 600 sites across the country. Pfizer says its vaccine is 95% effective. The shots are for people ages 16 and older. It's given in 2 doses, 3 weeks apart. Earlier tonight, President Trump updated the nation about the vaccine.
Today's achievement is a reminder of America's unlimited potential when we have the will and the courage to pursue ambitious goals.
Plenty of you have questions about the vaccine just approved tonight. WFMY News 2's Alma McCarty got answers to some of your most asked questions.
The COVID-19 vaccine has been a big talker all week, and for good reason. Healthcare professionals in our area expect to start administering the first doses of the vaccine as early as next week. Here are your top COVID-19 vaccine questions answered. First up, is it safe? Health Secretary Dr. Mandy Cohen insists the answer is yes, though some people may have minor symptoms like muscle aches and fatigue.
Although the vaccines were developed quickly, they were built upon years of scientific work in developing vaccines for similar viruses. There is no COVID-19 virus in the actual vaccine themselves.
Next, who's prioritized or getting this vaccination first? A question often followed by, when will I be able to get it? First up in Phase 1A are healthcare workers and medical first responders. Then, residents of long-term care facilities are vaccinated. Then, people with 2 or more chronic conditions. Dr. John Sanders with Wake Forest Baptist Health explains most of us should be eligible in about 6 months.
By the end of spring, going into summer, anybody who wants the vaccine should be able to access it.
Some asked, why healthcare workers first and not nursing home residents? DHHS has an answer in its vaccine plan, stating in part that this will stabilize the healthcare delivery system so doctors and nurses don't pass the virus on to high-risk patients. Finally, how much will it cost? The good news? It's free.
We are encouraging people to take this vaccine when it is their turn.
Doctors say if you get vaccinated, that doesn't mean you're 100% protected. But as a whole, if everyone gets a vaccine, it reduces the chances of all of us getting sick.
With the vaccine's approval, what comes next? The massive undertaking of shipping the vaccine will begin in 24 hours. Pfizer says most of the vaccines will ship from Michigan. Doses get loaded into trucks, moved to airports, and shipped by planes, and then they're delivered by ground with the help of FedEx and UPS. During the whole process, the vaccines must be kept cold.
The news of a vaccine approval is welcome news. Our numbers are skyrocketing, both nationwide and also in our state. This graph shows the daily cases among North Carolinians. Today, the state says it learned of 7,540 new cases. It's a new record and more than 1,000 higher than the record we just set on Wednesday. Hospitalizations also hit another record high today, 2,514. It's also the 9th consecutive day that we've broken the previous day's record. On the local level, hospital beds are also filling up quickly. Guilford County says its hospitals are caring for 192 coronavirus patients. Now, it is a number that held pretty steady this week, but it's much higher than where we were just a couple of weeks ago. The gaps here are Saturdays and Sundays since the county doesn't report this data over the weekend.
Because of rising numbers, tighter restrictions are now in effect across the state. We are 1 hour into a new curfew. The 10 p.m. curfew forced many businesses to close early. WFMY News 2's Marissa Tansino joins us live in downtown Greensboro tonight. Marissa, what are you seeing?
Well, Julie, not your typical Friday night in downtown Greensboro tonight. Streets are quiet right now because of the new modified stay-at-home order. We're asked to stay home between the hours of 10 p.m. and 5 a.m., and these will be the rules for the next month, all in an effort to stop the spread of COVID-19.
It's absolutely a double-edged situation.
Closing businesses for some at their busiest time, a tough ask, but the reality of the latest stay-at-home order, which forces bars and restaurants to stop selling alcohol at 9 and close most businesses by 10.
The pain that they're going through, the frustration they're going through, the fear of closing.
CEO of Downtown Greensboro Incorporated, Zach Matheny, has watched small businesses struggle through the pandemic, but he understands the effort behind the governor's latest order to stop the spread.
I've got 3 kids I'm raising, and I've got a mom that lives close to me and a dad that, I want folks to be healthy.
Los Chicos Mexican restaurant co-owner Mike Catrone says they started closing earlier back in March, but still, this will hurt some business owners hard.
A lot of restaurants are just opening as it's hitting. So it really is sad because we're definitely going to take steps backwards in Greensboro because of it.
But he says it's necessary.
Moving ourselves forward and reducing the hospital situation, that's just all we can do because there's going to be a lot of people that need medical care that can't get it. And that's going to be sad.
The governor says the idea behind the stay-at-home order is to keep people from letting their guard down, particularly at night when larger gatherings and alcohol could be involved. The order is set to expire on January 8th, 4 weeks from today.
Marissa, thank you. There are several exceptions to the curfew. Grocery stores, pharmacies, gas stations, and more can stay open past 10. To learn more, text the word curfew to 336-379-5775. We will send you specifics about the new executive order right to your phone. Cone Health is changing its COVID testing procedures. It will be done by appointment only. Cone Health hopes this will cut down on long lines of cars outside of their facilities. Appointments will be available from 8 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. at different sites starting on Monday, including the Green Valley location in Greensboro. You can make an appointment by visiting Cone Health's website or texting the word COVID to 88453.
Beginning Monday, all North Carolina courts will postpone non-essential in-person proceedings for 30 days. State Supreme Court Chief Justice Sherry Beasley says the pause is necessary to protect the health and safety of our court personnel and the public. The court says operations are typically slower through the end of the year, even under normal circumstances. So with minimal jury trials and courts doing many things remotely, the impact should be minimal. Earlier this year, the CDC put a temporary hold on evictions, but that order expires on December 31st. If it's not extended, 30 to 40 million people could lose their homes. As cries for rent relief grow louder, experts say eviction isn't just an economic issue. A recent study found more than 400,000 additional coronavirus cases and 10,000 deaths were linked to the expiration of eviction protections over the summer.
Tonight, the U.S. Supreme Court dealt another blow to President Trump's legal efforts to challenge the election results. Justices rejected a case from the Texas Attorney General to block millions of ballots in battleground states.
That lawsuit had the support of more than 100 Republican federal lawmakers, including 7 from North Carolina.
Fresh off their selection as Time Magazine Person of the Year, President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris presented several more cabinet nominees.
It's time to rededicate ourselves to the mission our government agencies were entrusted with, and to the American people. Help is on the way.
The picks include some former Obama administration officials.
I'm honored by the trust that you've placed in me to return.
We're going to fight like hell to give our veterans and their families the health care, respect, and dignity they deserve.
We are here to get hard stuff done.
Also, House Ways and Means Committee trade lawyer Katherine Tai for U.S. Trade Representative.
I look forward to harnessing the power of our trade relationships to help communities lift themselves out of the current crisis.
And Ohio Congresswoman Marcia Fudge for HUD Secretary.
We will help people believe once again that their government cares about them, no matter who they are.
Before the event here in Delaware, Senator Harris went to Capitol Hill for a procedural vote ahead of the Senate's passage of a defense bill and a one-week funding measure to avert a government shutdown. This sets the stage for a funding showdown next week over a government spending bill and COVID relief. At the White House, President Trump referred to a Biden administration in a tweet as a, quote, scandal-plagued mess and called on the Supreme Court to save the USA.
The president's legal team is obviously doing everything they can.
But Friday night, the High Court denied a Texas case in a 7-2 vote, which sought to block electoral votes in 4 battleground states Mr. Biden won. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Wilmington, Delaware.
Justices Samuel Alito and Clarence Thomas were the 2 justices who sided with the Texas Attorney General. Our local representatives who sided with the lawsuit included Mark Walker, Ted Budd, and Virginia Fox.
Mount Holly police are mourning the loss of one of their own. The North Carolina officer was shot and killed this morning responding to a break-in at a car wash in Gaston County. Officer Tyler Herndon was rushed to a local hospital where he later died. Herndon was an officer with the Mount Holly Police Department for less than 2 years. He was killed just 2 days before his 26th birthday. Police arrested Joshua Funk and charged him with murder.
State troopers need your help tonight finding a driver who hit and killed a 2-year-old last night. Highway Patrol says little Atticus Stamey wandered away from his Wilkes County home last night and a car hit him on Trap Hill Road, then took off. First responders rushed him to the hospital, but he died a short time later. Investigators don't have a suspect or vehicle description.
Rockingham County deputies are looking for information after navigation equipment was stolen from planes this week. Investigators say the equipment was stolen from 4 small planes at the outdoor hangar at the Shiloh Airport in Stoneville. They say there's no video of the crime, so deputies don't have any leads on suspects right now. Call them if you have any information.
Welcome to your weekend. Your Friday night is here, and of course, temperatures are cooling down, but not all that much. That's the story. We have a warm weekend, and I'll tell you this. If you like warm weather, you'd better take advantage tomorrow and Sunday. This is likely to be our last warm weekend in a little while. Temperatures right now still hovering around 50 in many areas, cooling off only to the mid-40s overnight. And here is the plan for tomorrow. 40s early on, 60s for the high. We're getting to about 64 for your Saturday afternoon. Now, varying amounts of clouds, they'll be there from time to time. We'll talk about the rain potential this weekend coming up. We'll also take a look at next week, which is interesting to say the least. That's ahead.
The Panthers kick off in just 2 days, and it looks like they'll be without their best player once again. Head coach Matt Rule says Christian McCaffrey is doubtful for Sunday, but Luke at CMC says he is still growing as a player while on the sidelines.
Yeah, Julie, it's all about perspective, right? Your thoughts help create your reality, and one thing about CMC is his constant positive attitude. Now, he's been on the bench nearly all season long, and he's likely to miss another game due to a quad issue, but there is always a lesson learned along the way.
You know, I've never missed a game in my life up until this year, and I think the best thing that's come out of it, though, is I've learned a lot about the game, learned a lot about myself, and I've been able to, you know, kind of experience that adversity of watching from the side and, you know, learn from it. And I think that's kind of how I've approached it. And, you know, once again, I've just been working hard to get back on the field.
We'll hear more from McCaffrey coming up during sports, and also some good news as 3 players are set to return from the COVID list. I'll tell you who it is in the next 10 minutes.
The news spread quickly across the Atlantic. Word of allergic reactions to the new coronavirus vaccine. Should you be concerned? We're verifying next.
Happy holidays. My name is Sergeant Isa Stevens. I am stationed here at Camp Arajon, Kuwait. I am the NCUIC of the veterinary training facility here, and I am thankful for life itself and all the opportunity that it brought to me while being here. I want to thank my beautiful wife, my mother, and my 9 brothers and sisters. Hope to see y'all soon.